Hello everybody, my name is Connor and I am here with Green-Yellow Law versus Usopp yet again. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of this matchup. I feel like a lot of my local players are gravitating towards Usopp, which is good because I think it's going to be a fun deck with the bans. I'm not sure how it's going to, where it's going to end up, but I think it'll be a fun deck to play against and a fun deck to play. But before we get too deep into the video, I do want to remind you guys that I am doing a playmat giveaway at 1K subscribers. We are so close. Thank you guys so much. I have been loving every second of making content. It feels so good to be making content again. But let's talk about the giveaway real quick. One lucky winner will get a fully customized playmat file from me. I make custom playmats on 1000noble.com. Check it out. Yeah, you can customize this playmat file however you want, and I will send you the file. You can get it printed wherever you feel like getting playmats printed, and the other lucky winner will get to choose one of my pre-designed playmats. If you like a playmat that I have in stock, for instance this Trafalgar Law playmat, I do have in stock on my website. Last I checked, it should be in stock. I'll send you this playmat file. I will send you the playmat. If I don't have it in stock, I will send you the file. So the game is going. Dawn won. We got nothing to do. Our hand is a little rough, but my opponent does see stage immediately. Pretty tough for me. And there I am drawing. We draw into another Bonnie, which is pretty good for the most part. If I understand Bonnie correctly, though, and I may not, because once again, O10 is just out. Almost said 09, Jesus. OPA10 just came out, so still trying to learn. You have to take your life and then replace it with a 5-cost Supernova, which, look at my hand, I can't meet that requirement, so I decided to swing all in on Law, and we do end up getting a hit there. They're going to go ahead, swing 5, excuse me, and I'm going to give him a 1K counter. And here is a point where we can get some work done. I really like this combo. I may be taking out the Dracul Mihawk 2K from my deck, but this combo literally makes it worth it, in my opinion. I am going to go ahead and tap 3 to play out that Mihawk. And Mihawk on play will play out the Basil Hawkins. This Hawkins is really good. One thing about this Hawkins that is important is on KO, it rips an opponent's life. So it coming in rested doesn't bother I'm not worried about it. If they kill it, you know, they lose a life, I lose a body. They don't kill it, I've got a 5K swing. So we swing 7 at lean and we get a 2K, 1K from my opponent and pass turn. They did end up playing the Cavendish last turn. Cavendish, a really good way to get cards you want in your trash and a really good way to fix your hand. I know in pre-release it was insanely good in pre-release. So the 6K coming at life, and I'm going to go ahead and take it. We get the X-Drake, and I think X-Drake is going to help us out a lot here. If my board stays where it's at, my cost is above 5, so I do meet that Trafalgar Law requirement, which means I can play Bonnie and put something in my life, and ideally bounce that Mihawk back to hand, which is just very, very helpful. So he does end up trashing a Cavendish off of Cavendish ability, and with the 6K swing, I am going to 2K out with the Capone. Still trying to learn this matchup, and he is going to play, I believe that is Sullivan is his name. If I remember, I will post a picture. Some sauce, honestly. I don't think it's featured a lot in decks, at least not in the Usopp decks I've seen. And speaking of sauce, the not Amaru, excuse me. I'll post a picture of the event. Sakazuki. My opponent is a Sakazuki refugee, if you will. So bottom decking the Basil Hawkins there, really kind of unfortunate for me. But honestly, best way you can get rid of Basil Hawkins, I believe. But we are going to go ahead and tap that 3 Dawn. I'm thinking about it, making sure I want to. Yep, going to go ahead, tap 3 Dawn. Take the top life, which is another 2K Mihawk, which is great. And then we are going to go ahead and put X-Drake down up top. Once we Law ability and play this X-Drake, we are going to be able to we're going to be able to bounce that 2k back to hand and play out X-Drake to kill Cavendish. I don't have to spend any swings going into Cavendish, but I still get to remove that powerful body. Potentially would have been better if he had more rested characters. So I think here I go ahead and Law ability. I think realistically I could have swung with the Mihawk here. He's I think 3k, 4k. Yeah, he would have been a 5k, swung 5 at lead, and then bounced Mihawk. But instead, I Law ability, get rid of Cavendish, and swing a big, I believe that's 9 at my opponent. So yeah, he is going to drop to 2 life. I mean, this early in the game, I don't really have a ton to play in my hand. My starting hand was nice in the fact that I had counter, I had 7-cost Law, and I had blocker Bonnies. But realistically, maybe I shouldn't have kept that hand. I did end up keeping that hand. I was thinking about mulliganing, but I know my opponent said, oh, I think I'll keep. And I said, well, if you're going to keep, man, I'll keep this interesting hand. So, Sullivan, I believe, is a 5k. Gonna go ahead, swing 5 minus me by, I believe, 3, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll go ahead and block out with Bonnie. Maybe I should have given them the 1k there. The 6 coming through from leader, I'm going to give him one of the 2k Mihawks. He knows I have a 2k Mihawk. And the Zoro is going to go ahead and pop my X-Drake. And he will play 2 for Ido, which is just a 2-cost blocker. I think it's 1,000 power. A small little blocker, which, I don't know, kind of a pain in the butt to get around in this deck. And speaking of a pain in the butt, I want Sullivan gone, but he is gonna stick around, guys. I don't know. I am looking into some other builds I can take this deck. I think that my list is fun, but maybe not the best list out there. And you guys know me, I'm the best gamer there is. So I'm gonna tap. Oh, that's a joke for those of you who are new. I'm going to go ahead, play down Jewelry Bonnie to search, and this is a pretty solid search. We get Cavendish, we get Restand Law, we get Bonnie. I think Bonnie has the potential to be really, really good, I think, this 5-cost Bonnie, because it allows me to not only have the option to freeze a character, but freeze Dawn. But I do take Cavendish just because I'm like, well, that seems like a pretty solid choice. So we are actually going to go ahead and play 7-cost Law. 7-cost Law is going to put I believe it's any supernova in life, if I am not mistaken, face down. So we are going to go ahead, pop Cavendish in life, and give a rested Dawn to leader so we can leader ability. Really great ability. I'm going to bounce Bonnie to my hand, playing out Cavendish. We're going to restand 2, and I could swing really big, but I am going to go ahead, just swing 6 at Sullivan there. I'm going to laugh if his name is not even Sullivan. And then with our last 2 Dawn, we are going to go ahead and get one more Jewelry Bonnie search off. Just to kind of get more cards in hand, find some filter, find some counter, not filter. We are going to take our 2k X-Drake. And yeah, see, we did get a Mihawk there. At this point in the game, I think the Mihawk, it would be nice to grab because it is a 2k, but it's not, obviously it's not Supernova, so kind of a bummer. That's part of the reason I'm thinking about dropping it and potentially adding in another searchable 2k, but I don't know, on the fence about it as of this moment. I do like my list, but definitely want to try a couple other lists. I know I've seen a bunch of other builds of Trafalgar Law. I know Kyle Gasly, who I got this list from, put out several himself, but another 5k swing going at, where is this going? Potentially my face, I would assume. Gonna end up minusing Cavendish, which is kind of annoying, kind of upsetting. But we are gonna go ahead, give him the 1k there. Potentially swinging 5 at lead, and while I could give him the 2k there, I have 2 2ks. I don't want to, so I go ahead, take a life, and holy shit, we get another Cavendish. So he's most likely gonna remove our Cavendish, but we have another Cavendish ready. It is absolutely ready to get us more Dawn. I feel like the Cavendish plays are so cool in this deck. Just be really cheating out more cards, bouncing things back to hand. really fun. So 8k swing is going to come through, and I am going to end up taking that one too. Getting a 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie. And then the Altar Rebecca, which is a gorgeous card. Altar Rebecca is going to come down and play out another Cavendish. So I'm definitely feeling like I'm potentially in trouble here. Cavendish is going to go ahead and swing into Jewelry Bonnie. Because of stage, all of his characters can swing into characters. So we get another Cavendish here, which is fine. Absolutely what I want, I think. But we are at 10 Dawn now. We get our Dofi Dawn, signifying that we are at 10 Dawn. And just trying to figure out what I want to do here. I think Bonnie is a good choice. I think freezing one of the attackers he has would not be a bad idea. And I do want to rest on before I swing Cavendish, because I want to gain the benefit of restanding Dawn. So potentially a Bonnie play incoming, potentially, I don't know, potentially something else. I don't see much that can help us here. But we will definitely see what we want to do. I think I'm really thinking about this. I feel like I know what I do here, but I don't want to say it just in case I'm wrong. Because to me, this looks like a tough spot to be in all honesty. We're going to go ahead, tap 5. We're going to play Jewelry Bonnie. We're going to stun Cavendish. Yeah, I just don't want him to gain the ability to restand. We're going to go ahead. We are going to swing Cavendish at Sullivan there. Restanding 2 Dawn, getting us to 7. And let's see what I do here. I feel like I'm in a kind of a weird spot. I don't know if I can do what I'm thinking I should do. Oh, no, no, I don't think I can. We are going to get the counter out of that, which is a bit unfortunate. But trying to figure out how I want to separate my Dawn. Yeah, kind of a bummer, but I'll go ahead. I will swing at 7. I think into Sullivan again. Yep, into Sullivan. And he is going to go down. I think he is a 4K. He does get to draw on KO, which is a bit unfortunate. But the 7 cost 9K swinging at Zoro. Hoping I can get that body off the board. Or get a ton of cards out of hand. And he is really thinking about it. I think it's definitely a tough space to be in, trying to decide if I want to give so much counter, and he does. He ends up giving us 2 of the toy soldiers to get out of that 9K swing, and with my remaining 5, I'm going to go ahead, bounce back Cavendish. Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead, bounce back Cavendish, and pass turn. Nothing I really want to play. Don't think I have the X-Drake, but I don't think playing X-Drake would have been helpful in this point of time. I know if I had another life, I think I would have bounced Law back just to kind of, because one thing I forget is you can bounce Law back, which I think is kind of fun. Just getting that heal after heal after heal. But Leo is going to come down, and he is going to get a search off, resting that stage. Seeing what he is going to grab there. Taking some time to choose. Understandable. And he's back. Sullivan is back. How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man? Please leave me alone. And a Rebecca and Toy Soldier. I think the Leo makes you trash. Pick 3, trash 1 or 2, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about a different card. He does put all of the cards to his hand. 2 Dawn, separating 2 Dawn. Here I'm thinking, thankfully, I shouldn't say thankfully. Hopefully, my opponent is going to continue to use his Dawn, because I'm in a spot where I think if he split on Zoro and Leader, I may die, depending on the number. I think depending on the math. But I mean, there's still a chance I die here. he's going to go ahead and tap 2, play down the Colosseum again. Gonna go ahead, separate 3, I believe. Or 2, excuse me, to play Toy Soldier, minusing the Law. Gonna go ahead, tap, I believe that is 5. We'll see, 4 or 5. I can't remember off the top of my head how much Zoro is. But Zoro is gonna pop my blocker. A little bit unfortunate, but we do have a lot of 2Ks in hand. So I'm thinking we'll be okay. Potentially. So 7 coming through with 7 coming through with Zoro. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 2K and a 1K. Make him think we only have 1 Cavendish in hand. That would be great. And yeah, he's just thinking about the math. Does he want to split? Does he want to put the 5 or make Rebecca swing with 5 or swing himself with 6? I think knowing what my hand is, I think this is definitely the better choice, because I'm going to have to give you more cards. So the 5 is going to come out, and I end up giving him a 2K. I give him that 2K because I just don't want to... I really don't want to give up Cavendish. I think that Cavendish... I need to put a Supernova, I think, into my life. I think I just drew into a 7-cost kid. I am going to go ahead and swing 7. He is going to take dropping his life down to 1, which is really, really tempting. Gonna potentially swing 7 here. Yep, gonna go ahead swinging 7. There is another hit. And how are we going to... I mean, how are we going to top that? That's pretty crazy. Oh, I see. We're just going to load up the rest on Law. So, a little bit of a risky play there, but thankfully for me, not for my opponent, thankfully my opponent was pretty bricked. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a good game. I think we did talk about the game afterwards. I usually do talk about the game afterwards with my opponent. I mention it every time, very good player. I'm really lucky. I get insight from him as well as a lot of the other guys at my locals. They're all, you know, talented and willing to help newer players and just bad players like myself go over games a majority of the time, and I think that that's a really valuable tool. So shout out to you guys. But yeah, we were talking about the game here, and I think he did mention that he should have just gone for game and not worried about the blocker, and I think that that probably would have given him a better chance to break through. I'm sure you guys will do the math on that for me because we know I am bad at math. But yeah, that is gonna go ahead and do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.